murder. The case opens on Saturday night.
Welcome again to the Seoul Olympics here on ITV. The 24th Olympiad is off and running. We've seen a most spectacular opening ceremony at a prelude of what promises to be the greatest games ever. 160 nations and many of the biggest names in sport taking part. Well, it's 17 minutes past 1 in Seoul now. The shutters are down, but what a day it's been for South Korea. The martial arts provided a startling feature of that magnificent pageant last night, with a host of taekwondo players, about 1,000 of them, thrilling the crowd. Within hours, we saw taekwondo as a demonstration sport, with, fittingly, South Korea winning gold. Dickie, a good start then for the host nation.
I think we're delighted about that because they're being such good hosts, aren't they, Ali, really? But not all the sport today has been for demonstration. We shall bring you right up to date with the action this afternoon, and that includes, I'm happy to say, the first Briton. Mark Epton, the light fly, the lightest man in our boxing squad, has the big job of getting our challenge underway. And I'm very happy to say that Jim Watt is here to assess the chances. But first of all, Jim, what good news about Frank Bruno? Apparently they've found him safe and well in Jamaica after the hurricane, and they're hailing him as a hero.
Yeah, well, presumably he must have kept his feet all the way through until the end, frankly, so that's good news, yeah.
Do you think with a big blow like that, this is going to be a very useful experience for Mike Tyson?
Well, he's had the hurricane, now it's time for the earthquake, I think, yeah.
Well, boxing action coming up in just a moment, but let's just catch up on the Fatima Whitbread story. Fatima revealed to us last night that she's injured again and is going to need intensive treatment before she goes for gold in the javelin. For the latest position, here's John Helm in Seoul.
Yes, and it's good news as well. As you know, Fatima revealed to us this morning that she was having trouble with her back. She'd pinched a nerve in it, and unfortunately for her, the treatment from the physiotherapist could only be administered at the same time as the opening ceremony, and Fatima was bitterly disappointed to miss that really glittery scene. And then there was a rumour put about that she'd actually flown off to Holland for the treatment. Well, we can scotch that one too, because Fatima has told us exclusively tonight that the back has responded to the treatment. She's definitely going to be A-OK. She's looking forward to the competition, of course, which for her is in just over a week's time. So the news from Seoul tonight, Fatima Whitbread is OK and she'll be taking part.
So better news then about Fatima, but our javelin girls really going through the wars at the moment, with the competition due to start next week. Well, Tessa Sanderson, the defending Olympic champion, is struggling with a leg injury, and she won't decide until the last minute whether she can take part, so a worrying time for her.
Well, let's hope we have that two-pronged attack in the javelin. The boxing entry in Seoul is the largest ever, with over 500 competitors, 200 more than in Los Angeles in 1984. And the first light flyweight into the ring was Britain's Mark Epton, the 22-year-old from Mexborough in Yorkshire, who won ABA honours last year. His opponent from the foothills of the Himalayas, Dambadut Tabutta, and I hope that our friends in Nepal will forgive my pronunciation. Reg Guttridge was ringside.
So it's been left to little Mark Epton then from Mexborough in South Yorkshire to get the British boxing team under the way. The very first contest of the Olympic Games then, with the twin rings here, so there's buzzers and bells going, and he's fighting Butta from Nepal. And they've actually now, instead of having the country singlets on, they've had the red and blue singlets to suit the corners, which has upset many of the, certainly the managements and the spirit of the representing their country. And if the judges really can't tell the difference with the old-fashioned sashes on the waist, then it's a pretty sorry time, really. But it's a change in the Olympic Games, obligatory head guards as well. Experienced lad now, Epton, 22, 3 times ABA champion at this weight, light flyweight, 48 kilos. 7 stone 7. But he didn't box in the ABA this year because he had wisdom tooth withdrawn and had to stay out of the championships. So a fast start, a lot of nerves obviously. All the trade boxing, the amateur coaches are all here from all the countries, the biggest entry ever. So the applause there you're getting from the bell of the twin ring here, totally confusing, but every session, and it's marathon sessions at boxing, have been sold out. It's one of the popular sports in Korea. Boxing well now, Mark Epton. This was the weight that set Charlie Magri on the road, finished up the World Pro Champion. Oh, good straight punching, but he's really stamped a bit of authority now towards the end of the opening round. See, now that's the first trial we've had that they didn't recognise that sort of buzzer tone there, the boxers, and the referee had to stop them. There's going to be some problems there with that. Here's Mark Epton then. Third and last round to the buzzer then, and Britain's Mark Epton in the very unfamiliar red vest to match the corners there in this championship. They're going to do that in this games. It disappoints me. I'd rather prefer the country emblems, and the Irish are going to be put out a little bit by that. So now, even with a nick below the right eye, Epton, I think's clearly ahead, but I'm always a bit scared to say it with 5 judges. We suffered that in Los Angeles, but they can't reverse the decisions. There's no jury to overturn one. Very strict medical rules in the AIBA, who control this for the Olympic Games, Association International Box Amateur. Good stuff from Epton again. Now, what a good start for Britain this is in the ring. Good game guy though, Bar, to give him his credit there. He hasn't been able to cope technically at all really with Epton, who's hit, and he's going to get a standing count there, I would have thought, or he's either, no, he should have got a standing count. See, that's the problem with the head guards now. They rush in a little bit recklessly. They get so used to them. Instead of slipping punches a little bit, they don't mind walking in and taking 1 or 2 with the head guard on, and it's over. And I think, no, that's the bell for the other thing there. Even the referee got confused there, and I'm not surprised. I thought it was over, but he didn't know, and neither did the boxers. And I think it's all over for the little game guy, Butter, and this has got to be the winner, surely, Mark Epton. And there they are, gentlemen of the jury. Reach your verdict. 5-0 then, the first of the British winners, and a very good performance indeed by young Mark Epton from Nexborough.
Yeah, it's a very useful performance, that one, Jim, isn't it?
That was a good performance, yeah. He dominated all the way through. He didn't get hit too often. And because of the entries, it could be maybe 5 fights before you get even near a medal. So it's going to be the kids who don't take too many punches, who are not involved in punishing fights, who are going to have that better
What about
chance.
the bell buzzer business? It really is confusing.
It is a bit confusing. Yeah. It must break the boxer's concentration. It's not so bad for the boys who are hearing the buzzer from the other ring. It's the boys who are hearing the bell and shouldn't be responding to the bell. It must be a problem for those that break their concentration.
Let's have a word, if we may, on our heavyweights, Henry Akinwando, because he's been very unfortunate. He's had a very bad draw. He's drawn against the Dutchman who's favourite to get the gold in that heavyweight division. I think his name is Arnold van der Leijah.
Van der Leijah, yeah. It is a tough draw for Henry, but well, if you're going to win the medals, then you have to meet these people, and sometimes if you're going to meet the favourite, then you're better meeting him straight away before he gets warmed up and he gets his rhythm going. Any upsets we hear of are usually in the first or second rounds. So maybe for Henry, maybe I'm clutching at straws, maybe if he has to meet the Dutchman, then it's probably best first time up.
That might be comforting words for him if you could hear them. Thanks very much for the moment, Jim. Well, now let's move to the bantamweight division and assess the merits of the young storekeeper from Belfast, John Lowy. He's already represented Ireland in World and European Championships, and his first Olympic encounter was against the Iraqi boxer Mustafa Saleh.
Out for the third and last round then, Ireland and Iraq. And the white shorts for John Lowy. He's boxed extremely well. And just a formal touch of glove introduced for the last round. And on this form, it's good really that the British entrant at bantamweight, Mick Devaney from Scotland, is not in the same section of the draw. So if they both do well, well, they'll eventually meet, but at least they can hopefully get on with their boxing and get some winning going before they have to clash, Ireland and Britain. Ireland, of course, unlike the soccer, have an all-Irish team, north and south. This lad's from Belfast. That's a way to stop them in their tracks. And it's good to impress the other coaches around and say, you know, don't treat us lightly, the Irish team. We mean business. Tends to be holding and hitting a bit there, but he got away with it, the Irish lad. Well, that's it. It looks like a 5-0 on my card. And in replay, that was the right hand that nearly decked the Iraq boxer there. Have another look at it. There it is. And I think he deserved the standing count with that one, okay, well, no doubt about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now announce the winner of Ring A. The winner is, on point, 4-1. In the blue corner, Louis John, Ireland.
I think they said 4-1. That surprises me if one judge went the other way, but it's a good clear win for me for John Lowy from Belfast, and through to the next series.
Well, I must say, the Irish manager will be pleased with Lowy's performance there.
That was an impressive start, yes. He was actually improving as the fight went on, so I think we'll see more good work from Lowy.
Right, that's a good spirit lifter for the Irish team. Right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have a look at the punishing martial art, the Korean martial art of Taekwondo. That's next.
Welcome back. The Seoul Olympics adopted a martial arts theme from the start, both in the opening ceremony and in the first demonstration sport, Taekwondo, a physical contact sport practiced by both men and women. Well, Taekwondo featured strongly in the opening pageant, hundreds of youngsters thrilling the crowd with their acrobatic manoeuvres. It's the Korean national sport, and they welcome the opportunity to show it to the world. After the ceremony, Taekwondo was introduced as a demonstration sport. Gareth Evans now takes up the story.
It was appropriate that the first gold medal in Taekwondo was won by a Korean. Chu Nan-yul in the red dominated the women's flyweight class, beating Spain's Angela Naranjo in the final. Spurred on by enthusiastic support, Chu was certainly fired up. 1 point is scored for each kick or punch to the head or body, but only if delivered with considerable force. In this attack, the Spaniard turns her back on the Korean and pays the penalty. 1-0, Chu. There are 3 3-minute rounds, and the dynamic 16-year-old scored a point in each. This one the best. Leading 3-0 with only a few seconds of the fight left, Chu is caught with a nasty stray punch to the throat. It doesn't count, though, and the pain's soon forgotten as she's awarded the bout and, of course, the gold medal.
crying for her country. They're very emotional, yes. Taekwondo, South Korea taking the ladies' gold there. Jim, what do you think about Taekwondo? I mean, just watching it there, very violent, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've quite enjoyed it. I find it quite exciting. It's new and it's fresh, and I think once I've learned a little bit more about it, I can maybe enjoy it a little bit more. I just don't understand all the rules yet.
He's such a good footballer, you know. I mean, he is a good footballer, and with those well-titled fists, what a combination. He'd be a very good Taekwondo player himself, wouldn't he?
I'll try anything once, but I don't know about that.
We've also, yes.
Yeah, just interesting that you might have a comment on this,
Yeah.
Ali, because we're seeing the girls actually participate in Taekwondo, and yet, and also we're going to see the girls actually participating in Judo for the first time as a demonstration sport. Can't understand why that's not already in the Olympics.
Well, I think they've campaigned for a long time, haven't they, the lady judo players, to get it in the Olympics, and it seems to have taken forever. I can't understand it. I mean, we've got some very good women judo players, and they should be there, absolutely. Yet to see women weightlifters.
Yes. The imagination boggles. Well, we certainly could see more medals from the host nation, South Korea. They're putting their faith in a herbal potion which doesn't contravene any of the drug rules, and they reckon they could win 6 golds. Tony Francis has been to uncover the story.
Now, this could be a field of broad beans or sprouting broccoli, but in fact, it's rather more valuable than that, because I'm privileged to be surrounded by the elixir of life itself. And who knows, maybe the secret ingredient behind the South Koreans' Olympic challenge. Because this is ginseng, a mystical and magical herb which will earn this country $70 million in exports in 1988 alone. They turn it into chewing gum, shampoo, aftershave, hair restorer, face cream, and one day soon, cigarettes. It's like gold dust. This crop, protected by hand-thatched covers, is worth £100,000. No wonder the estate manager can't take his eyes off it. Ginseng rustlers are a constant menace. They've been arrested, blasted with shotguns, chased by dogs, but still they come.